Freedom is all about choices, and while there is only one Jeep brand, you have the freedom to choose from an epic lineup of Jeep brand vehicles. Hit the trails with the versatile classic, the Jeep Gladiator, or experience the wild in style with the sophistication and comfort of the Jeep Grand Cherokee or Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xE. Looking for a more immersive experience? Let nature come to you in the open-air Jeep Wrangler or Jeep Wrangler 4xE, America's best-selling plug-in hybrid. Whatever you choose, adventure is just one drive away. Visit Jeep.com for details. Based on 2022 CYQ4 sales, JD Power retail sales data. Jeep is a registered trademark.
On today's Smart 7, Liz Truss launches PopCon, Prince Harry flies back for King Charles and much more. It's Wednesday 7th of February. It's World Ballet Day and happy birthday, Ashton Kutcher.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
PopCon sounds like it's either some kind of scam involving ex-pop stars or an event aimed at eager tweens. But in fact, it's neither. It's the exciting new face of right-wing politics in the UK. PopCon stands for Popular Conservatism, and it launched on Tuesday with Liz Truss and Jacob Rees-Mogg as the faces of what they called a new anti-establishment populism. Given Liz Truss's brief tenure as PM and the poor polling for the Tory government, it's not likely that the new movement will be getting the keys of Downing Street anytime soon, however. Liz says the organisation is for those who are embarrassed about being conservative.
Now, Britain is full of secret conservatives, people who agree with us but don't want to admit it, and people who are prepared to put their heads above the parapet and come out and stand as Conservative candidates are vitally important.
But it wouldn't be a Tory event without a bit of a Barney, and between William Hague criticising the PopCons in the Times to an argument about who actually created the movement, in that sense it was business as usual. Despite Liz and Jacob fronting the movement, PopCon director Mark Littlewood says it's his idea and he's in charge.
Very happy to have a former Prime Minister on my panel. She's not the leader of it, I'm the director of it. I think that the lessons we can draw from her very short time in office are important lessons for Conservatives who want to change Britain.
Rishi Sunak seems to have developed a knack for creating his very own crisis on a weekly basis. He's not hanging around waiting for Labour to cause trouble. He seems to be capable of doing that all by himself. His latest misstep happened during a Downing Street chat with Piers Morgan when he found himself agreeing to a £1,000 bet over the Rwanda scheme. Not surprisingly, people took offence to the PM betting money on a serious legal issue in a cost of living crisis. But things didn't go any better when he tried to explain his decision on Radio 4 on Tuesday.
So if I'm being totally honest, I'm not a betting person, and I was taken totally by surprise in the middle of that interview. And the point I was trying to get across was actually about the Rwanda policy, because it's something I care deeply about, and I just was underlying my absolute commitment to this policy.
Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer was busy chatting to media on Tuesday too, but he sounded much more focused about how his campaign will respond when Tories attack.
They inevitably will go to culture wars and go low. I don't want to have the argument there, but what I will say is I'll fight fire with fire. This election is too important for me to back off. So I'm very happy to have our positive argument, but I will absolutely be fighting fire with fire.
After Monday's shock announcement that King Charles is undergoing cancer treatment, there was a flurry of activity on Tuesday. The King and Queen were seen heading to Buckingham Palace before departing by helicopter for Sandringham. Prince Harry also dashed across the Atlantic and was spotted at Clarence House as he went to check in on Dad. There's been a huge international outpouring of good wishes for King Charles, and the news of his diagnosis has already generated heightened awareness around cancer and the need to get checked regularly. Meanwhile, as His Majesty steps back from public duties, he's expected to continue with his more important constitutional role, and author Robert Hardiman says the lessons of the pandemic will come in handy in terms of managing the process.
Certainly there's no sort of sense of sort of constitutional worries or legislation or anything like that. I mean, the machinery is there, but right now it's not needed. But the day-to-day running of the monarchy will not really change.
You'd assume by now that Donald Trump has gotten used to getting bad news from courts, but Tuesday's judgment against him could mark a significant setback. He'd been trying to make a case that a president should have immunity from prosecution, but his latest plea to the DC Circuit Appeals Court was resoundingly rejected. All three judges ruled against him and gave him only 6 days to launch an appeal to the Supreme Court before his election interference trial can resume. Meanwhile, Trump has been busy blocking and derailing the bipartisan immigration bill because he's terrified to hand a win to Joe Biden in an election year. year. Trump's greatest asset in Congress appears to be new Speaker Mike Johnson, who sounded taken aback when reporters filled him in on the immunity appeal result.
I believe that they've been after President Trump for partisan political purposes. I think that's obvious, and we call it lawfare, and I think there's no other way to describe it.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, Emma Raducanu is ready to rock and has Travis heard Taylor's new album? Right after this.
Freedom is all about choices, and while there is only one Jeep brand, you have the freedom to choose from an epic lineup of Jeep brand vehicles. Hit the trails with the versatile classic, the Jeep Gladiator, or experience the wild and style with the sophistication and comfort of the Jeep Grand Cherokee or Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. Looking for a more immersive experience? Let nature come to you in the open-air Jeep Wrangler or Jeep Wrangler 4xe, America's best-selling plug-in hybrid. Whatever you choose, adventure is just one drive away. Visit Jeep.com for details. Based on 2022 CYQ4 sales, JD Power retail sales data. Jeep is a registered trademark.
Welcome back. Tuesday night saw 3 FA Cup fourth-round replays, with Coventry beating Sheffield Wednesday and Southampton beating Watford, while it took extra time for Leeds to beat Plymouth 4-1. And as the tennis season slowly warms up, Emma Raducanu has been playing in the Abu Dhabi Open, where she's through to the last 16 and ready to face tournament second seed on Jabeur. Emma says she's feeling good after her forced break.
After the initial boredom and disappointment, I think that I quite enjoyed the time off because I felt like it gave me a time to reset and reflect on why I do tennis, why I play, what I enjoy about it, and then it really gave me time to miss it and be hungry again. And I think me, when I have that hunger, it's pretty dangerous.
This week is going to be a big week in the Swift-Kelsey household, although it may still be too early for Taylor Swift to have set up a household with her tight-end friend Travis Kelce. It's the romance that has taken America by storm, and with Travis headed to the Super Bowl this Sunday with the Kansas City Chiefs, he's getting a moment in the spotlight. But in a week that saw Taylor Swift win another Best Album Grammy and announce her new album, The Tortured Poets Department, which drops in April, there was only one question anyone wanted to ask Travis. Have you heard the new album yet?
I have heard some of it, yes, and it is unbelievable. I can't wait for her to shake up the world when it finally drops. She's unbelievable. She's rewriting the history books herself, and Taylor has an unbelievable fan base that follows her and supports her throughout her life. It's been fun to kind of gather the Swifties into Chiefs Kingdom. And, I told her I'll have to hold up my end of the bargain and come home with some hardware too.
Nowadays, when I say Noel Fielding, you're probably immediately picturing a man in a comedy shirt snaffling some delicious cake. But Noel has a life outside the bake-off tent. In fact, he achieved comedy greatness as part of the Mighty Boosh, long before his sweet tooth led him astray. Now he's back acting with a brand new comedy series for Apple TV Plus called The Completely Made-Up Adventures of Dick Turpin, which tells the tale of the famous highwayman. It's got an amazing cast too, with Tamsin Greig, Asim Chaudhry and Hugh Bonneville. The first 2 episodes drop on March 1st.
I know what you're thinking. Who is this guy with the incredible cheekbones? Where does he get his hair done? One day, I'll be the most famous highwayman in all of England.
You are literally about to be hanged, you idiot!
Quick note to my gang. If you were planning a rescue, now would be a good time.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.